on how themes like gorilla stocks will work. So what are the 2 or 3 themes which you think you will deploy over the next maybe 6 months or so when you build up a flexi cap portfolio?
Certainly. So, as you brought in the topic of flexi cap funds, I'd like to mention that we are launching our first flexi cap fund next month, beginning the 5th of April, ending on 19th. So that's an exciting event for us. But the way to approach, growth investing in India, and we do firmly believe that India is a growth market, is to not only look at growth in the near term, but to look at stocks which we believe have longevity of growth. So, there is one term that we've come across, which is gorilla investing. And that's a very interesting term because it is a form of growth investing, but with a very strong focus on longevity of growth. Very often we've seen that in countries like India, which are on a high growth trajectory, there are certain stocks and segments which sustain their growth for a very long period of time. And we've seen that when stocks sustain high growth rates for a long period of time, the value of the profits beyond the first 5-10 years, the current value of the profits is actually 80% or 90% of the market cap. So while we end up valuing a stock on the next 4, 5, 6 years of profits, the market is actually looking at 90% of value coming because of longer term profits, because the trajectory of growth has been much larger or much longer than expected. So this is what we call terminal value, where in high growth stocks and segments, we tend to horribly underestimate the long-term growth potential, which is where probably 80-90% of the value resides. So stocks which look expensive on current PE basis may not be that expensive and may actually be cheap if you look at the growth beyond the longer term. And this is what we call terminal value investing. And the reason why we call them gorilla stocks, such stocks with a long trajectory of growth, is that these stocks are rare to find. They are large. They become dominant because of their high growth rates. And most importantly, they have a long life, which means the longevity of growth is very light. So these are all the characteristics of a stock that we are looking for. And this is what also describes a gorilla. That's why the term gorilla investing.
Okay.
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.